The best way to start your day. This is Med in the Morning.
It's a live 107.3. Lee with you here, getting set for another action-packed episode of TNA Impact. Is going to land in the wee small hours of Friday morning. And of course, you can catch it exclusively live on TNA Plus, where you can also catch premium live events every month, including Unbreakable Rebellion, Slammiversary, and Bound for Glory, plus 20 plus years of historic action, all for a lower price than ever before. Head on over to tnaplus.com right now to find out all the details. And I'm delighted to say one man is getting quite a collection of matches on TNA Plus. Is the UK's own Leon Slater, who joins me now. Leon, how are you, my friend?
I'm all good, Lee. Thank you for asking. I'm blessed to be here and I'm excited to talk.
Leon, this is incredible because I'm going to be completely honest. I'm a massive TNA and Impact Wrestling fan back in the day, and I was not aware of you and what you'd done on the UK wrestling scene. But I was blown away when I saw you as part of the UK tour with Impact back in 2023. How did that come about? Because again, we know TNA love supporting local talent wherever they go. But how did this happen? Did you reach out to them? Did somebody give you a call? Just fill us in on how the start of this dream got taken place.
It's a very interesting it's very interesting this story how it took place. Like my whole career, kind of like my life has transpired so far, I like to describe it as almost like a spiral effect. So this story all started a long, long time ago in a land far, far away, when I was doing an independent show in Manchester, for a company called Sovereign Pro Wrestling. And I was lucky enough to be on that show with Josh Alexander, who was the Impact World Champion at the time. And lucky enough for me, Josh took the time out of his day to watch my match, and I had a conversation with Josh about my match afterwards. And he took a liking to me. So me and Josh stayed in contact from there, and that was I think February 2023. So when it came time for the Impact at the time, when it came time the Impact announced their UK tour, Josh actually reached out to me and asked me to do one of the dates. And obviously, like even getting one date with Impact or like TNA as it's known now was like
Oh,
life changing at the time. And I was like, I couldn't be more excited, right? So I had one out of the 4 days, and then he reached out to me a couple of days later again. It was like, oh, they actually want you for 2 days now. And I was like, oh my God, like this is keep getting better. Like it can't get any better than this. Couple of weeks later, he reaches out to me, okay, they want you for all 4 dates. So like at this point, my mind is just blown, like, and
oh,
it goes back to that spiral effect thing that I was saying. Like, if I was never in that match in Manchester and Josh was never on that card, like, would I have made that connection and would I be where I am now? Like, it is really crazy to think about. But yeah, that story all started on a cold, cold night in Manchester, England.
did it feel different? Because also, I mean, you've got an amazing independent career, Leon, but actually setting foot in the O2, the opening night of that Impact tour as it was then, did you get nervous? Did you get the butterflies in your stomach? And were you concerned about how the audience, who may never have seen Leon Slater before, were going to react?
So there was definitely a part of me that was nervous, but there was also the kind of youngest in charge part of myself that knew I kind of had it, you know what I'm
Hmm,
saying? I knew I was the only UK talent with all 4 days, so I already knew that like Impact must have had some sort of liking towards
hmm.
me, right? So all I had to do was just be myself and do my thing. And it was funny enough that it was in Glasgow, I think. Yeah, it was Glasgow the first night, which is pretty close to Newcastle, which is kind of where my career took off from. Like a company
Oh,
called North Wrestling were the first people to really give me an opportunity to shine. So I think being in within close proximity of that really helped. And it was again someone that I've been watching since like forever. Like he's been wrestling longer than I've been alive. I was wrestling Frankie Kazarian that night, so it was a match. Number one, I was really excited for. Number two, I feel like I was prepared for. And number three, like although I was nervous, I didn't really feel like I could fail because I already had the 4 dates. Like they couldn't take the dates away unless I really, really like crap the bed. You know what I'm saying? But there was definitely some nerves, but deep down I knew I could handle it.
you handle it so well, and I think you were actually the opening match of
I
that
believe we
Glasgow
were,
card.
yeah.
How did it feel to obviously you came up on the losing one that night? But again, how do you know you had those 4 nights when you actually when you saw that graphic, when that contract was offered to you? How did it actually feel? Can you put into words what it felt like.
So I think somewhere out there is words to describe like that feeling, but I am definitely not literate enough to describe them to you. I mean, like as a wrestler and like as like a lot of us are, people that have loved wrestling since we've been born, right? Like I can't
Mm,
remember a time where I haven't been into wrestling. And as someone that's always had that goal to get signed to a big American company, and especially as someone from the UK, where that gap sometimes seems impossible to cross because
mm,
there's visas and there's flight expenses and there's even just getting them to take a look at you, right? Like being kind of isolated on this island as we are. Um, as soon as Scott came out with that paper in his hand, like it was extremely overwhelming to say the least. I think that's probably the most accurate word I can use to
mm.
describe it. It was overwhelming of happiness, excitement, like almost some sadness too, because like I knew I wasn't going to be the same from when I came into the venue that day to afterwards, right? Like I knew my whole life was about to change, and that comes with a lot of emotions, especially for I think I was 18 or 19 when that happened. I think I might have just turned 19. So yeah, like as a 19-year-old, it was a big thing to take on, but again, it's something that I've kind of worked my whole life towards. Um, and I think I really do think like overwhelming, and probably gratitude is another good word to describe it. Like to get signed not only by like a big American TV company like Impact, like TNA, but to have that happen in front of almost my home audience, right? Like in the UK,
Mhm.
again, like happening after a match against a legend like Kazarian. I'm extremely grateful for the way that that happened, and I'm extremely grateful for all the opportunities it's provided since.
It's provided a wealth of opportunities, and of course, those opportunities took you across the pond to the US. And again, how do you prepare, or do you change the way you started to look at yourself? Once you signed that contract, you realized what this meant. Did it change how you looked at yourself as a performer and as knowing you were going to have to introduce yourself to a whole new audience who really didn't have any idea who Leon Slater was? You were just going to be this kid that they saw appear on Impact, they saw appear on a premium live event, and then was potentially going to be a feature on Explosion and Impact every week. How did you prepare yourself for that?
So I think my answer to that question is almost the inverse. I don't really think I looked at myself as a performer any differently than I ever have, right? Because especially as an independent wrestler and a young independent wrestler that's still very new into things, I wasn't at least at that time I wasn't really a stranger to going to new places and having to reintroduce myself and reinstate what I'm all about to new audiences, whether that's up and down the road in the UK or whether that's when I've been lucky enough to be flown out to places in Europe or places in America for independent dates before I got signed to TNA. So like introducing myself to a new audience wasn't a massive thing, but it definitely made me look at myself personally, and it almost changed how I looked at myself personally because for the longest time you're just chasing this dream, right? And like you have people along the way supporting you. Like I've had a great support system around me, my mom, my family, all my friends, even the unit down here at PPW. Um, but along with that also comes a lot of people that doubt it and poke fun at it because it's not a very typical thing for a young lad from the UK to do, you know. So it was almost like um, a sense of validation for all of my every moment of my life since I was 9 years old, since I started training. Like that was now verified. You know what I'm saying? So on the performer side of it, I knew I had a big task. Don't get me wrong; it's a completely new audience. It's a much larger audience than I'm used to wrestling in front of. But it's nothing too alien than what I've done before. But the personal side of it was definitely some validation. And like I said before, like just a bunch of gratitude, man. Like I really can't express enough how thankful I am and how grateful I am for all the opportunities that I've had and like continue to get. And yeah, like getting that contract, signing my name on that paper. And like you said, like seeing that graphic was really the start of that.
We're talking with Leon Slater. Do not go anywhere. It's Live 107.3. Lee with you this morning, talking with the hottest young star, not just in the UK wrestling scene, but arguably the professional wrestling scene. He has been taken it by absolute storm since he landed in TNA Wrestling. Hello, Leon Slater. Leon, are you still with me, my friend?
Yes, sir. I'm still here. All good to go.
Leon, I'm so excited. I've been looking back through everything you have accomplished since you arrived in TNA Wrestling, probably officially at the start of 2024, and it was a great year. You were in there. You've been mixing it up in Impact with some of the biggest names the roster has ever seen, including members of arguably the most dominant heel group in the professional wrestling game today, the System. They tried to court you for a little while. You can't fault them. I mean, they obviously see talent. They obviously want to try and take you under their wing. But what was it actually like being wooed, being tempted by the System, and actually being involved with those big names so early in your professional wrestling career?
So I think, like you said, there's definitely two sides to this, right? There's the side where the System are a group of veterans that clearly see something in me, and I definitely don't take that for granted, right? Like as a young wrestler, all you want to do is to learn. So to have like a group of people like JDC, Eddie Edwards, Moose, Brian Myers, Alicia Edwards, like a group of people like that that have more experience combined than my whole life, is definitely something I don't take lightly. But when it comes to the System, you kind of almost have to look past that, right? Because we're blessed enough to have a lot of veterans in our locker room at TNA, and we're definitely blessed enough to have veterans that are nicer people than the System in the locker room today. So that's definitely something that I noticed from the get go with them. Again, I was intrigued that they took interest in me out of all of the talented young people on our roster. Um, but I'm very glad that I was almost able to see past that visage and that mirage of them trying to coax me to join. And I've actually ended up under the wings of two people that have been my idols growing up in the Hardys. And honestly, I don't think if the System had ever tried to recruit me, I don't know if I'd be in the situation I'm with the Hardys right now. So I'm almost thankful that the System tried to recruit me, but I'm definitely thankful that I'm not a member of the System and I am an honorary Hardy boy at the minute.
Well, I was going to ask about this because I mean, much like yourself, I have grown up watching Matt and Jeff Hardy. Everywhere they've gone, everything they have done, they are true icons in the business. And just to be around them, it must be the opportunities. You must be sponge-like to soak up everything that these guys have got. And how did this actually come? Because obviously we know in the way wrestling is, sometimes people can get introduced or put together. Was there a natural interest from the guys when they saw your style in the ring? Because it's very reminiscent of young Matt and Jeff, what you can do in there.
Yes, absolutely. So like this is a very funny story actually. So from day one, when Matt came back to TNA, it was very evident how much of a big fan I was of not just Matt but of Jeff as well, of course. I remember it was Rebellion 2024. We were all sat in the locker room, and I had no clue that Matt was there. So the lights go out, and I'm like along for the ride, just like the crowd is, right? And I think if I remember rightly, it was like me, Tommy Dreamer. Maybe Ace Austin was there too, and there was a group of us sat watching round. And as soon as Matt pops up, I like hop out of my chair and I'm losing my mind, right? Because it's Matt Hardy in a TNA ring. Like I'm working for the same company as Matt Hardy. It's wild, right? Um, and Tommy immediately noticed it. And from that point, like all of us were right. Like, oh, I wonder if Jeff's gonna come. I wonder if Jeff's gonna come. And when the news broke that his contract with AEW was up and he might be showing up in Chicago, I was on the edge of my seat the whole day. So again, I didn't see Jeff the whole day. I didn't know he was there. Like people are almost like teasing me about it throughout the day, you know. And then Jeff finally shows up and I lose my mind again. And the first thing that happens is Tommy Dreamer takes me to come and meet him, right? So as a 19-year-old, like walking through a TNA venue, I've got Tommy Dreamer, like a legend in his own right, walking me to meet two other legends. So I'm already thinking, like, what on earth is going on? And then it gets to meeting Jeff, and you know, he's real nice. He's like, hey man, I'm Jeff, I'm Leon, nice to meet you. Da, 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 da. Da. And at this point, I'd already like chopped it up with Matt a couple times. Me and Matt had already chatted. And you know, me and Jeff were introducing ourselves. And then Matt from out of the side goes, hey Jeff, this is the guy that does the Swanton 450. And Jeff's face almost goes from like, yeah, it's nice to meet you, man, to, oh my God, it's nice to meet you, man. Like, you're the guy that does this one ton 450. And for me, like, Matt and Jeff were my guys growing up, like number one. They were my guys growing up. So to kind of have that relationship with them start like that, and not only start like that, but kind of grow into the relationship we have now, where, like you said, I'm really just trying to be as a big a sponge as I can, because I realize, like, although they're on a great run right now, like this, the Hardy Boys aren't going to last forever, right? And I realize we're at very opposite ends of our careers. So I'm really just trying to soak in every moment I get to spend, not only in the ring but backstage, and chatting it up with Matt and Jeff. I'm really just trying to soak it all in, learn everything I can, and more than anything, just enjoy being around my heroes, because not a lot of 20-year-olds get to say they can do that.
That's so cool. I know time is flying by, Leon, and I'm going to have to let you go in a couple of minutes. But there's just two things I need to ask. Obviously, we are heading in to another premium live event season here at TNA. It's absolutely incredible. We also know Unbreakable is coming April 17th, and then 10 days later, you're going to be one of the participants in TNA's signature match, Ultimate X, for the X Division Championship. We know 4 of the 6 participants. It'll be yourself, Mark Cardona, Vikingo, and Moose so far. How do you prepare for an Ultimate X match?
So it's kind of funny you asked that, because I feel like I've been preparing for the Ultimate X match my whole life. Because like being a TNA kid and really growing up on TNA, like the Ultimate X was the feature match of TNA, right? So
Hmm.
I'm pretty confident in saying I feel like I've seen like 70% plus of Ultimate X matches. So I've seen what people can do with the structure. I've seen what the structure can do to people. And since I was 9 years old, I've been plotting up different ways that I can make it mine, right? And to have it at this point in my career, where I have chance not only to become the X Division champion, but to become the youngest X Division champion of all time, which is a huge goal for me, is very exciting. And again, like you said, it's coming up in live event season, right? Like TNA Plus is popping off like crazy now. So not only the fact that I have chance to put my name in their record books, but to have that chance broadcast globally on TNA Plus, whether that's the UK, the States, India, China, like whatever country you can think of, right? On TNA Plus, it's something that I'm definitely not taking lightly. I'm nervous, but more than anything, I'm very, very excited to put my mark on the Ultimate X.
We look forward to see how that happens. Now, the final thing before we let you go, Leon, very quickly, if you're up for this, a ground of the name game. I've got listed 5 TNA superstars and would like to the first thing that jumps into your head. Are you up for this?
Here we go. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Name number 1, Danny Luna.
Wicked.
And number 2, Eddie Edwards.
Prick.
And number 3, Tasha Steele.
Badass.
Amazing Red.
Legend.
And name number 5, the sound of TNA Wrestling, Mr. Tom Hannifin.
Ooh, legend, you know. Tommy's a legend as well. Legend. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Leon, thank you so much. You can see Leon continue his quest for gold as he enters Ultimate X as part of TNA's Rebellion event, one of 2 special events this month on TNA Plus. You can also see brand new episodes of Impact each and every week. Head online to watch.tnawrestling.com to subscribe for just $9.99 a month. And remember, you haven't seen anything until you've seen everything. Leon, we look forward to following your journey and your quest for gold. Thank you so much for taking the time, my friend.
Thank you, Lee. See you later.